Welcome back to Miles Around. Let's jump into our driver's seat with this. It's the Saab 9.3 SportsCombi, and it's a turbo. Now, there's a saying in Sweden, they make two different kinds of vehicles there. One for the fast lane and one for the slow lane. And I think Saab hope their vehicles are made for the fast lane. When the first Saab was designed, it was put together by 16 aeronautical engineers, only of which 2 had driver's licenses. Dennis?
I guess you don't need a driver's license to know how to make power, and Saab knows how to do that. This little 2-liter makes about 210 horsepower, but we'll get to that in a minute. We're going to take a look in the interior, we're going to take a look in the back, and see the way that Saab's been able to take their engineering from a performance standpoint. They do make jets, you know, and then combine that with the utilitarianism of a station wagon. But for now, let's look under the hood.
Now that we have the hood open, we can see the 4-cylinder turbo engine. Now, Dennis, normally a 4-cylinder doesn't deliver as much power, but Saab seem to have broken some of the rules.
Well, you know, a lot of the manufacturers out there have broken the rules lately with technology, fuel injection, turbochargers. It's that type of atmosphere in the automotive world, and Saab does it in spades. You know, the thing about it is it's got 2 liters, 122 cubic inches. By old school standards, it shouldn't make more than 100 horsepower, but yet it makes 210 horsepower and 221 pounds-feet of torque. Now you take that torque, or the power that gets the car moving, and you have to put it on the ground. Saab has delivered that in a way that they do not get a lot of torque steer. When you're out on the road, you don't feel the wheel jerking around in your hands, and it has a great feel, yet a lot of front-wheel drive cars kind of tend to have a lack of feedback to the driver. Now when you take the brakes and the suspension, it's independent all the way around, and Saab has delivered a great braking system for those that want to feel that right in the pedal feel. Overall, the Saab Combi wagon is something that delivers a lot of performance, yet in a utilitarian way. I've said that once before on the show, and I have to reiterate the fact that it's something that they do so well. They're blending power, performance, and something you can put groceries in the back. All right, there's one thing for sure when you're talking about Saab and you're talking about looks is the way that they've taken this design, which was introduced in 2005, and made it look like the old body, but yet very modern. There's a distinct body shape and line along this vehicle. Nice wheels and tires, that distinct Saab grille that really does kind of tie it together, and it lets you know that it's a Saab from clear across the parking lot. Now, if you move down the vehicle, there's a couple other interesting items.
Let me tell you about these door handles. It's not very often that you see them do so much work on the door handle. It actually has a design inlay here for the handle itself. You can also see how adaptable this vehicle is. You have your little flips to start putting your roof rack in there, and of course it has the hockey stick roof, and not only that, you get your rear heated quarter panels all over again. Now I like that in the vehicle.
Once inside the 9.3 SportsCombi, you have to notice some of the things that has always made Saab unique. You know, they take things that, from their born from jets mentality, into everything from the air vents to where the key is positioned in the center console. The SportsCombi also takes what is Saab's rendition of combining everything, or they call it the infotainment system. It's where they take their HVAC controls, the heating and air conditioning controls, the navigation controls, or even the stereo, and make it into one unit, so it's not so complicated. There isn't a million buttons inside this vehicle, and I think that lends to the ease of driving it. It does have nice leather interior as far as the seat and wheels, but there's also, more importantly, the back seat and the room that goes with it.
And it's quite roomy here in the back. However, if you've got somebody in the front that's over 6 foot tall, the actual room starts to decrease. The seats are very comfortable. Don't forget the headrests in the 9.3 are some of the safest in the industry and have won many awards. In the back here, you'll find 29 cubic feet, and with the seats flat, it's almost 73 cubic feet. So it's quite roomy back here. So that's our look at the Saab 9.3 SportsCombi. Dennis, tell me a couple things you liked about it and something you didn't like about it.
Well, I certainly like the driver's position. The steering wheel, the pedals, the gear shift, all transfer information back to the driver that makes him feel connected with the vehicle. The other thing I like is the fact that, though it doesn't make the most power in its class, the Saab's turbocharged power plant has the ability to make a lot of power in real-world RPM ranges, so you're not winding the engine up really high or lagging it across the street walk.
And what didn't you like about the vehicle?
Well, in this kind of price range or this type of vehicle, I'd like to see all-wheel drive available, but I think that's coming down the road.
A couple of things I liked about the vehicle, first of all, is the price. you can't really find anything to go up against this vehicle in the price. You look at something that's similar to this vehicle, it's going to cost you about $10,000 more. The other thing I really liked about this vehicle is it does handle very well in bad weather, even though it isn't a four-wheel drive. Remember, these cars come from Sweden, and in Sweden it snows a lot. The thing I don't like about this vehicle, and I have to tell you, it drives me absolutely crazy, because it's a GM. It's under the GM umbrella, I should say. It has the OnStar system, which means that they only have the OnStar phone available in this vehicle, and they don't have Bluetooth in this vehicle, and that drives me crazy.
I think you're nitpicking. The 2007 Saab 9.3 Sport Combi has a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. The starting price is $28,240, and the as tested for miles around is $33,860. The EPA rates this vehicle at 22 miles in the city and 30 miles per gallon on the highway.
Here are the guys that make miles around possible. The Russ Auto Group, Baxter Auto Parts, Northside Ford, Ray Reese Dealerships, 4-Wheel Parts Performance Center, Grand Prix Imports, and J. Lee's Auto Group. Thanks, guys.